Hi and welcome back to Save with Crypto. My name is Save with Crypto, and I'm going to talk today about another app, and you'll find out about this on the website AnotherApp.io. There's actually not much to see on the website. There's just a download here for the iOS App Store and also for Android on Google Play. Now, this is actually quite a big deal because I've been waiting for this for about 3 years now. And the story about it is reasonably complex, but I'm going to leave a URL for this Gitbook page here, which talks about it and where it all came from. Now, Another are based in Bucharest in Romania, and I got involved about 4 years ago because I was doing stuff to do with the Multiverse X blockchain, which in those days was called Elrond. Now, 3 years ago, I had the CEO and co-founder of ZoidPay on this channel, and we had a really nice discussion about the future of ZoidPay. Now, in this discussion, Edward here mentioned that the app was coming soon, but in fact, it didn't really arrive properly in the public domain until last Wednesday, the 3rd of June. And the app is very different to what he was describing there. If you're interested in watching this anyway, I'll leave a link to it in the corner now. Now, one of the most important things that's happening is the complete rebranding and also moving to not only one new blockchain, but multiple new blockchains. And there's going to be a token swap. You're going to be able to swap the old ZoidPay tokens for other tokens. Now, this isn't available at the moment, but it should be available fairly soon. But I suppose before we get too ahead of ourselves, we should have a look at the app itself. Now, I believe this year we're going to see 3 different versions of this app. We're currently on version 1 that is reasonably limited in what it can do. Version 2, I believe, will happen in Q3 of this year. I'm not sure about version 3, but that's going to have features that we don't even know about yet. But let's take a look at what's out now. It's only been out for 4 days, so there might be a few things that aren't quite perfect with it. But I was testing this for a week or so beforehand, before it was publicly released. And I'm very pleased now to be able to use it straight from the App Store. So you can see here that at the moment I've got a balance of 30 cents, so 0.3 euros. And with that, you can send it. At the moment, you can only send it to another user. Okay, you can't send it to any banks at the moment, but you will be able to in the future. And of course, other people can send money to your username. If you look at my history here, you can see that I've actually paid my local council tax. I paid for some t-shirts. I did a crypto top-up. I did a crypto top-up that failed, and I bought a pint in a local pub. I also bought some petrol in a local supermarket, and at the same supermarket I also did a bit of shopping. I bought some beer and a baguette, and I did a crypto top-up. I did some other crypto top-ups initially that all failed. Okay, now the reason they failed was, I think there was 2 reasons, but I haven't quite pinpointed the exact thing yet. But apparently because I was using the ERC20 network, I needed some Ethereum in that account just to cover the gas fees. Now, the actual amount was really tiny, literally just $10 worth of Ethereum seemed to have been okay for like lots of transactions. So I don't think that's an issue. The other thing that was suggested, and I haven't tried this, is that I was trying to change the entire amount. So, for example, if I had 42.83 USDC, I was trying to change 42.83 USDC. In later transactions, I would have made that something like 42.7. So literally just knocking off a few cents just in case. Now, that seems to be okay since. I believe the whole method of that happening will be smoother in the future, and probably in version 2 as well. But that was the reason I got the failed transactions. There was nothing particularly wrong, it's just I wasn't quite doing it right. And you can see here that I can generate a PDF of the history if I want to. If we look at the cards tab, you can see that I've got a card there where you can choose to show the details if you wish. In the settings, you can set your monthly spending limit, change the PIN, or terminate your card. And here you can change the name of the card. I just call it main, but you can call it whatever you like. You could call it car expenses or something like that. Now, the crypto wallet is the most interesting part of this, because the crypto wallet is not custodial. You don't have to send money to the exchange. This is your wallet that you self-custody. So, as we know, not your keys, not your cheese. So, in this case, the cheese is all yours. Now, I've previously been using a different wallet, but I'm going to import a existing wallet. And you've got a choice here of Base, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Multiverse X, BNB Smart Chain, and Solana. I'm actually going to choose Ethereum, and I'm going to just say ETH wallet, and I'm going to put in my seed phrase here. Okay, so agree to the conditions, and I should be able to see the wallet now. And you can see that I've got a very, very small amount of Ethereum, 0.00589, which should be enough for any gas fees I need. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I want to top up the card with USDC using the Ethereum chain. So if I want to top up that card, I can just go to top up in the middle of the page. If I want to top up with fiat, please be aware that it needs to be a Euro account in your name. Now, this will change, I believe, in version 2, when you will be able to use a different account. So, for example, you could get your salary paid straight into your Another app. Okay, and you can see here that you have a Liechtenstein IBAN, and it's very important that you put in the reference number when you send money there. But I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to top up with crypto. Okay, so the way you do that is you need to get some crypto into the actual wallet first of all. So if you click crypto, then here I'm going to click my Ethereum wallet, and I'm going to go receive, and then I've got a wallet address there. Okay, so I'm going to send some USDC to this wallet using the Ethereum network. I'm actually going to do that from my BitGet account. Okay, so you can see here I'm using the ERC20 network, otherwise known as Ethereum. And you can see here that that was completed. Okay, so what happened here was the USDC went into the crypto account, and I didn't actually record this part, but then I used that to top up the card. So if I go back to the card now, you can see that my balance is there, €40.16. Okay, so that's there ready to use now. Now, I suppose the interesting thing is, what were the actual exchange rates from USD to euros? And I suppose when I go and buy something, what is the exchange rate from euros to GBP? Okay, so I think that's probably a subject for another video. I'll probably compare, Another with Tap Global, maybe Uphold. If you've got any other ideas, then leave them in the comments down below, and then we can set that up. But you can see here in the notifications that I did another deposit yesterday. It was 41.98 USDC, and that converted into 36.38 euros. So we can have a look at how good that was. And you can see here that on Wise, which used to be called TransferWise, that $41.98 would actually convert to 36.34. So it's pretty much identical. But the reason I'm excited about this is because the actual business model is very, very different to other fintech applications. Things like Crypto.com and Tap Global give you cash back when you spend. What they're going to do with Another is you're going to get rewarded on the general usage of the actual app. So the more the app is adopted, then the more you're going to get paid if you hold their token, which is called Other. Now, at the moment, Other isn't available. There are private sales going on where you can buy it if you've got a lot of money. If you haven't got a lot of money, you can buy ZoidPay, and then at some point we will be able to swap that over to Other on a one-to-one basis. Now, this is why I'm interested, because I've got a lot of ZoidPay. So what is a lot of ZoidPay? Well, Well, with most fintechs, a reasonable investment in the platform is something like about $5,000. If you're spending that, then you normally start to see a few perks. So let's see how much ZoidPay we could get for $5,000. Okay, well, the price of ZoidPay reached an all-time low in August of last year, and from there we're actually up quite a lot. We're actually up, how much is that? About 725%. So it's done something like a 6x since last summer. But the price now is $0.007361. Okay, so if we were going to spend something like $5,000 and we were going to get ZoidPay at the current price, which is something like that, that means we'd be getting about 680,000 ZoidPay. And on this website, zoidpay-other.online, there is a calculator where you can work out how much you get in rewards with some simulated figures. So here's the calculator. This is based on an annual revenue of 20 million. Rewards for stakers is actually 18,360,000. That seems a lot, doesn't it? With a market cap of 10 million. And the way this will work is you'll be able to lock up your other tokens for either 12, 6 or 3 months. So this is using an assumption that half of them will be locked in a 12-month pool, half in a 6-month pool, and half in a 3-month pool. So the monthly ecosystem turnover would be 1.7 million, and the reward allocation to begin with would be 90%. Now, I believe this will fall over time, but the idea is it's very high at first to encourage adoption. And if you're actually using the app, you will change your contribution level. So probably for someone like me who might use this as my daily card, I might become like a prime contributor or even a master contributor. But let's just leave that on the default, the core contributor, which I guess is someone who just uses the card in a regular way. Let's say that you had your 680,000 other tokens and you locked them for 12 months. And that means that if you were a master contributor, at the highest level, you'd be getting about $1,000 a month. Otherwise, you'd be getting about 520, which would be equivalent to an APY of like 306%. I'll look into this more in future videos, but I actually think the way this is going to work should be very, very attractive. Once people see that people are actually earning decent money by locking other tokens and actually just encouraging people to actually use the app, then I think it should be good. We've waited a long time for this, so I'm pleased I'm here. And let me know what you think. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, this next video you see in the corner of the screen will probably be of interest to you as well. All right, take care. See you soon.